The day humanity's forgotten colony returned with warships. Larger than moons, Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Terran Pride, her weathered hands gripping the command rail as the sensor readings flooded in. The Galactic Council had been in emergency session for 3 days now, ever since the massive gravitational anomalies appeared at the edge of human space. "Admiral," Lieutenant Torres called out, his voice barely concealing his amazement. "The objects they're ships, ma'am, warships, and they're broadcasting human identification codes." Chen's blood ran cold. Human codes from beyond the frontier? Impossible. Humanity had barely managed to establish 12 colonies in the past century, and the Galactic Council had made it abundantly clear that further expansion would not be tolerated. The Zephyrian delegate, Ambassador Crystal, materialized on the bridge through his species' trademark teleportation technology. His crystalline form shimmered with what Chen had learned to recognize as extreme agitation. "Admiral Chen," Crystal's voice resonated like wind chimes in a storm. "Our deep space monitors have detected 17 vessels approaching at sublight speed. Each one is—" He paused, his form flickering. "Larger than our Moon-class battle stations." Chen felt her knees weaken. The Council's Moon-class stations were the largest military installations in known space, each one capable of sterilizing entire star systems. And now 17 ships, each larger than those behemoths, were heading toward Earth. "Sir," Torres interrupted, "we're receiving a transmission. It's in old Earth standard, from before the colonial wars." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a figure that made Chen's heart skip a beat. The man appeared human, but something was different. His eyes held a depth that seemed to contain starlight, and when he moved, there was an otherworldly grace that spoke of centuries in low gravity. "Greetings, Earth," the figure said, his voice carrying an accent Chen couldn't place. "This is Fleet Admiral Marcus Kane of the Exodus colony vessel Prometheus Rising. We have returned." Kane. Chen knew that name from the history books. Marcus Kane had been the commander of the New Horizon, the colony ship that had vanished into deep space. 300 years ago, during humanity's first wave of expansion, it had been assumed lost to the void. Another casualty of humanity's early, desperate attempts to spread beyond their home system. "Impossible," Crystal whispered, his form now pulsing with rapid flashes of light, the Zephyrian equivalent of panic. "The New Horizon was destroyed. Our ancestors made certain of it." The transmission continued. "We know our return comes as a surprise. When we departed Earth 3 centuries ago, we were a colony ship carrying 50,000 souls, seeking a new home. We found more than we ever imagined." The screen shifted to show the exterior view of the approaching fleet. Chen gasped. The ships defied comprehension, vast constructs of metal and energy that seemed to bend space around them. They moved with impossible grace, their surfaces alive with patterns of light that hurt to look at directly. "We found the architects," Kane continued, and Chen noticed that several council delegates on the bridge had gone completely still at that word. "The beings who built the mass relay network, who seeded the galaxy with life. They were waiting for us in the space between spaces, in dimensions your science cannot yet perceive." Ambassador Crystal's form suddenly exploded into brilliant white, light before reforming, smaller and somehow more fragile than before. "The architects chose them," he whispered. "After all this time, they chose the humans." Kane's image smiled, and Chen saw something ancient and terrifying in that expression. "The architects told us of the Great Deception, how the younger races formed their council to keep humanity contained, how they feared what we might become if allowed to grow freely among the stars." The fleet was now visible through the bridge's main viewport, 17 impossible titans that dwarfed everything around them. Chen could see smaller vessels, each one the size of Earth's largest battleships, swarming around the flagships, like minnows around whales. "We spent 3 centuries learning from teachers whose civilizations rose and fell before your species crawled from their homeworlds," Kane continued. "We learned to fold space, to manipulate time, to speak with the quantum foam that underlies reality itself. And we multiplied. The sensor officer's voice cracked as he spoke. Admiral, I'm reading population signatures from the fleet. Each ship is carrying. Dear God, each ship has populations in the hundreds of millions. 17 billion souls returned to you today, Kane said, as if he had heard the report. 17 billion humans who never forgot their origins, never stopped dreaming of home. We return not as conquerors, but as liberators. The Zephyrian ambassador collapsed into a pile of crystalline fragments, his form unable to maintain cohesion under the stress. Similar reactions were occurring throughout the bridge as the various alien delegates realized the magnitude of what was happening. The Galactic Council's reign ends today, Kane announced. For 300 years you have kept humanity caged within a dozen systems while the rest of the galaxy sprawled across a million worlds. You told them they were junior partners in a grand alliance, when in truth they were prisoners in a cosmic zoo. Chen found her voice at last. Admiral Kane, this is Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth Defense Command. We welcome your return, but the situation has been stable. The Council has provided. Kane's laughter cut her off, a sound like distant thunder. Admiral Chen, look at your homeworld. Look at the overcrowded cities, the resource wars, the desperate reaching for the stars that your allies continually deny you. This is not stability, this is a slow death. The main screen split, showing Earth on one side and one of the approaching colony ships on the other. The contrast was stark. Earth, brown and gray with pollution and overpopulation, while the light colony ship's hull revealed glimpses of vast gardens, crystal cities, and open spaces that seemed to stretch to infinity. We offer humanity a choice, Kane said. Remain as junior partners to civilizations that fear your potential, or join us in claiming your birthright among the stars. The architects left gifts for those they deemed worthy. Technology that makes these ships possible. Knowledge that can transform not just humanity but the entire galaxy. As if summoned by his words, space around the fleet began to shimmer. Massive ring structures materialized, not built, but grown from the quantum vacuum itself. Each ring was large enough to encircle a star, and they hummed with power that made Chen's instrument scream warnings about exotic energy readings. We are no longer the same species that left Earth 3 centuries ago, Kane concluded. We have become something more, and we offer that transformation to every human in this system. The age of limitations is over. The age of humanity ascendant begins now. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Outside the viewport, the 17 impossible warships continued their approach, surrounded by their rings of power and escorted by 10,000 smaller vessels carrying the dreams of humanity made manifest. Chen looked at the shattered remains of the alien delegates, then at her human crew, and saw the same realization dawning in every face. Humanity's forgotten children had come home, and they had brought the keys to the galaxy with them. The age of being small was over.